What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Countdown. Hey, I'm Cam. This is Hunter. And today, we're going to go another week. We're covering NBA. The NBA is getting deeper. Last week, we covered NBA first round, where we thought each team was going to be. We covered a little bit about the NHL. We talked about WrestleMania in our combat episode last week, in which we'll talk about, we're going to talk about a little bit of Backlash. It won't be too long, but we'll talk about that for this Friday's episode. Today, though, we're going to cover the NBA second round. Now, there are two Game 7s happening today we are recording this. So the Rockets and Warriors, and then the Blues and the Jets. So while we do talk about the next matchups, we are going to highlight that we're just going to give our little bit of input on both teams, so whoever makes it on each side. And then obviously by the time this episode comes out, it's already going to be decided who's in for the next round. Hunter, NBA playoffs, the first round was interesting. There was a lot of interesting matchups. But before we get to the most interesting ones and the most questionable ones, I just want your overall take. What did you think of the Pacers and the Bucks? What did you think of that series?
I thought the Bucks put up a good fight, but them losing Dame, and I think Game 6, he got hurt in Game 6, right?
Yeah,
I could have told.
Yeah, it was Game 5,
Towards
I
the
think,
Achilles.
actually.
Game 5.
Yeah,
After he got hurt, it was over. The series was done. Like, there was no reason for me to think Indiana was going to lose that series, especially without Damian Lillard.
let me double check that.
The overtime game, Bucks had like an 8-9 point lead in overtime with like 10 seconds to go, and they blew it. Like,
yep. Yeah, Lillard tore in Game 4.
Oh, Game 4?
Yeah, they ended the series in 5 in overtime. That crazy overtime game.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah. It's just funny how Milwaukee just blew games. Like, they should have forced a Game 6.
Easily. They easily should have forced a Game 6. And I feel bad for Giannis. Because he played his tail off.
Gary Trent Jr. played great up until the late in overtime. He had 2 or 3 turnovers. That cost the Bucks the game.
Yeah, in the game 5, in the overtime, the crazy game, Giannis had 30 points, 13 assists, and 20 rebounds in that game. Gary Trent Jr. had 33 points, and he was 8 of 17 from 3. I mean, and AJ Green had 19 points. Porter Jr. had 11 points. Bobby Portis had 14 points. But really, for Game 5, I mean, if you look across the board, McConnell on the bench, T.J. McConnell for the Pacers, 18 points. You know that when you have bench points like that, like the Bucks had Kuzma was on the bench and he had 5 points for them.
Can't have that.
They're leading. Can't have 5 points. And then when I just look at it overall, it was Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton came alive when they needed him the most, when they mattered the most. Now, do I think it's? I know everybody's talking about this, but his dad coming on the court and taunting Giannis like that.
Yeah, that's uncalled for.
Like, I hate to say it. I get it. You're happy your son just won, right? Competitive series it was. But Giannis is standing there. He's shell-shocked, right? He's thinking, we should have went to Game 6. This shouldn't even be here, right? We should have not lost this game. And so I wasn't really too pleased to, I don't think a fan's parents should be doing that to somebody else, especially right after they just lost.
No, there's no reason for that. That sets a bad example for the league, and that is not what the NBA should be presenting or representing. That needs to be said, and I think there needs to be a fine for Halliburton, and family should just not be a part of anything. In my opinion. Like, you should not be allowed on the court yelling and screaming. Like, if you want to cheer, that's great. But you don't go up to the opposing guy who did everything he could for his team to win. And they should have won Game 5. This should have went 6. And for him to do that just sets a bad example. And that also impacts his son's image and reputation as well.
Well, obviously, because, I mean, it puts his, the Pacers are not going to, fine Halliburton, right? Because, I mean, they're not trying to, the NBA is going to have to. The NBA, right. Here's the deal. It would have been different if Giannis would have said something to his dad, right? Or said something. But he didn't. Right. And for Giannis to come out there afterwards and say, dude, the guy was cussing at me, all this, and we just lost. You know what I mean? Like he goes like my family would never do that to somebody else. We
Right.
wouldn't be doing that. So there's got to be like, and if you're Halliburton, you got to go, yo, Dad, like I'm happy you're here, supporting me and everything, but you can't be doing that. You know what I mean? Can't be
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, it's not about his dad's reputation. It's Halliburton. It makes him look bad, right? And you can't afford to have that. For my overall thoughts on the Bucks and the Pacers series, regardless of Damian Lillard being healthy, I think the Pacers were getting out of it. They were deep. They were a lot deeper than the Bucks, and I'll tell you something. This team throughout the regular season doesn't really play that great, but when it comes to playoff, Siakam, Turner, and Halliburton come alive, and that trio just works and it blends really well, and they play a good style of basketball. And that Nesmith, who they have on there, he's underrated. Like he does a lot for them. He does a lot for them, and he causes a lot of problems. So the Pacers moving on to the next round against the Cavs, which we'll get here to in a little bit. It's going to be an interesting series. But between those two, the reason I brought them up first, and is I thought the series wasn't as interesting as it probably could have been. But
I expected it to go deeper myself.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed with how Milwaukee went down 2-0 very quickly. And I was shocked because I thought this was going to go at least 7. I thought this series would have gone the distance.
Right.
But Lillard getting hurt, Kuzma was awful. Kyle Kuzma had no impact in this series, in my opinion.
They traded Middleton so he could have impact too.
Yeah.
They wanted Kuzma to have impact.
They should have kept Middleton. If Chris Middleton's on this team, this series is going longer than 5. I promise you that. Kuzma has been a wash for Milwaukee. Damian Lillard getting hurt, that was just the icing on the crap cake, let's be honest. Yeah. But I still think Indiana was going to go 7, or Indiana was going to win this series, regardless
I had him
of
6,
anything.
Starting out. I had Pacers in 6.
I had Pacers in 6 as well. I did not think the Bucks were going to get out of the first round. But now the question for Milwaukee is, does Giannis stay or leave? Because I think Giannis is gone. I think Milwaukee needs to trade Giannis right now because they need picks. They have no future right now. You trade Giannis, you get a future. And I don't think Giannis wants to stay there after this series. And Doc Rivers getting hired by them was dumb.
My personal opinion, they need to move Giannis quickly before he gets out, right? Fire Doc Rivers.
I think they already did. I think they already did.
They should hire Budenholzer back. He did a great job. He did a fabulous job when he was there. And I hate to say it, hold on. You can hold on to Dame, but honestly, I consider trading him.
I would get rid of Dame too.
Like, I don't know how because of injury prone problem, right? I don't know how willing other teams are going to be willing to trade him and his value and stuff like that. But I think you need to get rid of Dame, and you need to get rid of Giannis, and you need to build up from scratch. Just start all over. Go back to the basics. Giannis, let's be honest, he's a hero in Milwaukee. He did great things for Milwaukee. If I had to pick a team I'd love to see him on, it'd be the Houston Rockets. I'd love to see him with Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet. I'd love him to see, and Ime Udoka would have a heyday with this guy. I mean, look what he's doing now with Houston.
I am waiting for Jalen Green to ball out because I think in this Rockets versus Warriors series, Jalen Green has played good, but he hasn't played like the level of play I thought he would play in this series.
He's been shelling himself all season.
Yeah.
All playoffs.
He's been struggling. I think tonight in Game 7, I think we see the best of Jalen Green. I think Jalen Green arrives.
I think we already got the best of Jalen Green when Jimmy Butler went out in that Game 3 because Jalen Green dropped 38 points in that game. So I think I guess we'll move on to the Rockets and the Warriors. And this is obviously to come out Tuesday. So my best opinion, I think this is the night we see Steph Curry shut them out. And listen, I would like to see the Rockets move on to the next round, but if I had to bet myself, right, or bet the odds against anybody, am I going to really bet myself on Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green and Steven Adams, or am I going to bet myself on Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry? And I mean, you're talking about the greatest shooter God's ever created. I mean, Steph Curry is elite. He's the top 3-point guard to ever live. And if I'm looking at it, I'm going Curry's dropping 40 in this game. That'd be my best opinion. He's dropping 40 and leaving him out there.
If the Rockets, I'm going to go with the Warriors. I'll start off there. I do think Golden State wins tonight. Experience, right? But if the Rockets were to win, they need two things to happen. Şengün's got to do something.
Yeah.
He's got to be. I'm looking at him as the guy that's got to own the paint on both sides of the ball. Right. And two, Dillon Brooks needs to not. How do I say this without sounding like a complete jerk? He needs to quit getting into scraps, quit instigating, and worry about the game.
Man, hold on a second. That's tough. Okay, so I look at it at both points, and now we're moving to the point where Timberwolves are obviously the team waiting. Minnesota's waiting for an opponent.
Minnesota, in my opinion, is going to be both of these clowns. It don't matter.
But regardless, if they play the Warriors, the Timberwolves have size. They have size advantage on
Warriors don't.
Golden State. No, that's what I'm saying. They'll have size advantage on Golden State. Golden State, the only thing that they're going to have, and really, I hate to say it, love Curry to death, but I think the physicality is going to impact his game a little bit. Jimmy Butler is going to be the difference for the Warriors to, make it the series competitive at all. Because Jimmy Butler, hate to say it, knows that organization very well. He's very familiar with that organization. So he could be the difference maker. If it's the Rockets, this is where it gets a little bit more fun. If the Rockets win and beat the Warriors, and they're the ones who face Minnesota, the Rockets have size. They have size to match. And here's the thing, and I know you can say, well, Dillon Brooks needs to calm down. If we know Dillon Brooks the way he is, he's going to try to get at Ant. That's exactly what he's going to try to do. He's going to instigate with Ant, and the difference maker is going to have to be Jalen Green. Jalen Green's going to have to come alive against Minnesota. He can't sleep around like he...
Yeah, he's got to come alive tonight. Game 7's on the line, man.
Well, here's the thing, though. Fred VanVleet, who's done a phenomenal job, by the way.
I do like
We
Fred.
don't give him enough credit. He's done a phenomenal... Him and Steven Adams together have done a phenomenal job. Now it's time for the Young Bucks, right?
Yeah.
The Young Bucks that are sitting behind need to come up and help him. And I think that's something that Ime Udoka is going to, push for them to do, right? And so... The Rockets, I think, honestly, personally to me, Rockets, Timberwolves, deeper series. That's a 7-game series easily.
As fans of the NBA, and if I'm going by purely off matchups, I think the Rockets and Timberwolves are the better matchup. I do not think the Warriors are a good matchup for Minnesota because Minnesota has Gobert, they got Randall, they got Naz Reid. They just have the size. The Warriors don't have the size.
They just that. So, to me, I think the Warriors are winning Game 7. But I think the Rockets, like we both agree there, the Rockets are the better matchup. The Rockets are the more fun matchup. And I would like to see I'd like to see the young Rockets do something. That would be fun to see.
That would be cool. It's definitely going to be a good Game 7, though, regardless. It's going to be fun to watch. I do not think it's going to be a blowout like the Clippers and Nuggets were. That was just sad.
Well, we'll get to that here in just a second. But...
Oh,
I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna let you cover it real quick. It's your team. Cavs in the first round. Just you can highlight on how did you? Here's what I want you to say. How did you feel about Cleveland's play against Miami? Without Garland and them, how'd you feel?
Oh, now that's. Overall, right? It was a snooze fest. That series was dog water.
Does it boost your confidence for the next couple rounds? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I would say Cleveland's very confident. I thought Sam Merrill showed up, played really well. Streets played better. Dean Wade played better. I mean, I thought our bench guys like Jalen Tyson and Porter Jr. Our deep guys, they got more playing time, but that's what we need. We need all these guys playing in these playoffs because we know who the target is. We know what stands in our way to get to the finals.
Yeah.
And I hate them. I can't stand them.
We'll get to them here in a minute.
But I'm not going to say them yet. I'm going to wait for that segment to come.
Yep.
But we know the end goal and what stands in our way. We know the biggest threat, the biggest target. So for me to see these young guys like Merrill, like all the guys I previously stated, to get these guys playing time, get their feet wet. Ty Jerome and DeAndre Hunter, two best bench players I've ever seen. We have a bench duo. We have a bench. We can go deep in our bag and we can produce and score. Besides, I can't score. We ain't gonna talk about I can't score. He's garbage. But I was very impressed with how the young kids did. I mean, I don't care if we're playing the Heat or not. I was just happy that they produced. They came in on the fly, ready to get their feet wet, and we're going to continue to play them more, I think, which we should. Kenny Atkinson's a great head coach. I do miss JB Bickerstaff. I love JB. I was happy and proud of him for what he did with Detroit. That was insane. Detroit needs more help, obviously. But what I've seen so far makes me happy, but now we actually have a test. Now the playoffs actually start for us. Right. Because the first series was a snooze fest. Oh, my God. The Game 4 was sad. Game 4, I thought I was watching an NBA team versus a high school team. It was that bad. We won by 50. Game 3, we won by 37.
Well,
Game
Miami
1, we won by 20.
Miami wasn't ready for that.
This is why I hate the play-in. This is why the play-in is useless. This is why.
Well, Miami and Orlando were the 7 and 8 seed. They were already the 7 and 8 seed. The Bulls and the Hawks missed out.
Orlando was better than all three of these teams.
Oh yeah, easily.
But it makes no sense to me why a team that was 10th in the standings with a horrible record made the playoffs. I don't understand it. I don't agree with it. I think the play-in's absolutely useless. And I will stand by that. I am not a play-in fan at all. This is not the March Madness. This is not the NCAA tournament. At least when they do play-ins, both teams have good records and they have a chance to actually be there. The play-in in the NBA is absolute ridiculous and sad.
Don't skip out on the Thunder and Grizzlies because it doesn't matter. There was a snooze fest as well.
That series was trash.
Here's the question. Lakers and Timberwolves to start out.
You know, Cam,
when you look at
I'm going to let you go first, and then I'm going to say my input, and everyone's going to hate what I say, so it's fine.
I'm going to say something that is debatable, but...
Oh, boy.
This is hard because there's a lot of good players. Jokic, right? He's done good. SGA, he's done good. Luka has done good. Ant-Man is the best player in the playoffs by far. He's the best player in the playoffs. There's no player I would take over Ant at all. He knocked out LeBron. He knocked out KD last year. He knocked out Luka. He's going to knock out either Steph or the Houston Rockets. Doesn't matter. He knocked out Jokic. He came back in Game 7 last year and knocked them out.
Okay, when you get a minute, I have a question. I just have one question.
This dude has arrived. This dude is the next face of the league.
He don't want it.
He don't want it. I don't blame him because there's a lot of criticism. There's a lot of hate for it. But here's what I love about it. He's got a huge personality. But what I love about this guy the most is he's never scared to go after the opponent. He wants LeBron. He wants Luka. He wants Jokic. He want you know what I mean? He wants the best player on the court. He is willing to go. Did you see the videos and the clips of him shoving around LeBron? He was shoving him around, shoving Luka around, getting physical with everybody. That's the style player you want. And the fact of the matter is, however far Ant goes is how far the Timberwolves can go. What happened last year is when they played Denver, by the time they got to the next series, they were wore out. They were done. Ant was so fatigued, and I can't put a pin on exactly who they played, but they beat the Nuggets in Game 7.
They lost to the Mavericks.
Yeah, so then
they lost to the Mavericks.
By the time they played Luka, they were done. You know what I mean? It was Ant was done. Ant had come back he's either two games right in that Minnesota series. They were behind against the Nuggets, and they came back and won it. And Ant was fatigued. Ant, when he's not fatigued, when he's healthy, this team, Julius Randle has played a lot better. He makes people around him better. This is the best I've seen Julius Randle play in the entire career of his NBA at all.
I agree with that.
Naz Reid is a huge benefactor. Alexander Walker, Rudy Gobert had his best game in the playoffs we have seen. He had 27 and 24 against the Lakers in Game 5. He makes his team. Ant just makes people better.
Right.
And he builds confidence with these guys. Listen, he goes into after it was Game 3 or 4, and he got into the press conference there, and he looked at Julius Randle's stats. He goes, "This guy needs to shoot more." He said, "Dude, you got to shoot more." He goes, "What are we doing here?" Like the second best player on the team. He goes, "He needs to shoot 2 or 3 more threes a game. What's he doing over there?" And Julius Randle's just sitting there. He's like, "I'm tired." He's like, "I'm tired as hell. He got shot enough." That's what he said. But he's confident, and that's what he said. And why I say this kid has the potential to be the best player in the league. The only reason I say he's not is because Jokic and SGA, I believe, have the over on him. I believe Jokic by far because of championship, and he's got 3 MVPs. But Ant has potential to be there. But I think he's the best player in the playoffs because I don't think anybody wants that.
I will agree that I think Anthony Edwards is the best player in the playoffs as well. But my question was about that Game 5, man. He didn't play real good from 3. He was like 0 for 11, I think. He struggled on the offensive side of the ball. But that's neither here nor there. Timberwolves in 5.
Now you remember what you said, though. You remember what you said, though.
What?
At least he took the shots.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Regardless, he did drop 43 in Game 4. So I mean,
all right, now it's time to get spicy. Now it's time to cause chaos.
All right,
Lakers fans, LeBron James GOAT fans, listen up. I don't ever want to hear the GOAT in that man's name ever again. I don't want to hear it. No, just shut up. Shh. I'm over it. I'm done. I don't want to hear it anymore. You had the game on the line in Game 4. Okay? Game on the line, Mr. Greatest of all time. And I'm going to copy a movie that I love so much, and it's the truest statement in sports I know. Winners always want the ball when the game's on the line. He scored 0 points in the fourth quarter. 0. Zilch. He got stuffed by Mike Conley. He was flopping around. We all say it. I got TikTok. I know. Now, Cam, you might agree with me. You might not. Do you think a guy who scores 0 points in the fourth quarter and got stuffed by Mike Conley, who's older than dirt in this league, and just flops around, whines and cries about every little thing, do you think that's greatness?
If you're talking about getting stuffed by Mike Conley,
he got stuffed by Mike Conley.
I don't think it's greatness, but I do have a counterpoint, but you've already know it. You know what it is.
Yeah.
Luka can't play a lick of defense, and LeBron James is 40 years old and playing fucking better defense than the entire Lakers organization has. There's nobody on the Lakers that can play better defense than LeBron James.
Okay. Granted, I'll give you that one. That's fine. I know Luka can't play defense. Luka has a body of a 40-year-old man because he doesn't condition or anything, but Luka can score the ball better than anybody I've ever seen on the Lakers.
I mean, I'm just saying this. Okay. Part of this has part of the Lakers losing this series has a couple things.
Austin Reeves was a big reason.
Austin Reeves, size. JJ Redick, and I'm going to say this. The JJ Redick with the defensive strategy and, he ran Luka into the ground in Game 4. Luka was dead in Game 4. Like, dude, he couldn't even walk. Like, in the fourth quarter, he was like falling over. He was having so hard trouble. He was so tired. LeBron James in Game 4. Now, mind you, you could say he didn't score any points in the fourth quarter. Fair enough, but he also played. He played the entire game except for 1 minute. He was off for 1 minute.
But I have a question since you brought up JJ Redick, which I'm glad you did because now you're falling right into the hand. So I'm glad you.
Why is the reason? Put him there?
Thank you. Why is JJ Redick the head coach of the Lakers? Why? Who wanted him there?
LeBron James wanted it to.
Why is Bronny James in LA? Because LeBron wanted him there. Why did they fire Ham?
I never said he was the GOAT, so I don't know why you're coming at me about
No.
this.
I'm not coming to you. I'm just trying to get people to understand why I think this because I'm tired of hearing it. He got Ham fired. Don't tell me he didn't.
Of course he did.
You think greatness. For all you GOAT lovers who think LeBron's the GOAT, I'm going to give you a fact because I'm a Cavs fan. I know how LeBron James operates. He is the best player on the team, granted, but he's not. But he shouldn't play GM and head coach too. He has full control over an organization, and he's been to how many finals? 10?
10.
And how many has he won?
4.
When you have that much control over an organization, you know how many finals you should win? You should have 8 or 9 rings. When you have that much say-so in an organization. And the fact that you could take
out 2 or 3, really. You could take out 2 or 3 that weren't his fault.
Doesn't matter. He still should have more than 4 with that much power and say-so.
What do you want to do with it? Okay. All right, pal. Let's get to the reality here. What do you want him to do?
This is reality. This is what he does.
What do you want him to do in 2017 and 2018 when Kevin Durant went to Golden State? What did you want him to do? He had Kyrie in 2017. They went back to the finals.
Okay.
What do you want him to do?
Okay, but why did Kyrie leave? Because of how he was. Because of how LeBron was.
And guess what Kyrie told everybody?
He regrets leaving. I get it. He should have. Yeah. He shouldn't have left.
He wanted to lead his own team. That's what Kyrie wanted.
Okay, but why did LeBron fail? Because he wanted Rodney Hood, he wanted George Hill, and he wanted Larry Nance Jr. in Cleveland. So we did what he wanted. But no, listen, we did what he wanted, and he failed, and you guys think he gets a pass. No, he wanted that.
What did you want him to do in 2007 when he wasn't in charge of the organization? He went and played the Spurs.
I knew we were going to get killed. I didn't expect to win that one. But let's take that from that standpoint. In 2007, was I shocked we went to the finals? Yeah, I was shocked. We had nobody. I'll give him that one. He gets a pass from me on that one.
What about 2014? When Kyrie and Kevin Love both went down on injury in the finals?
That happens. Hey, he said next man up. That's what you do. Injuries happen.
The next man up was Matthew Dellavedova, who went to the hospital for guarding Steph Curry in Game 3.
What do you mean? Dude, Delly shut Curry down. What do you mean? Delly had a hell of a series. He went to the
hospital. He had to go to the hospital.
That's fine. He still played good. I love Delly. Delly was awesome.
LeBron James averaged 40 in every game, and he wasn't enough.
He should have won the NBA final. He should have won Finals MVP. I will give him that one. He should have won that. Not
he should have won it. He should have won it in 18 when they went against the Warriors because he was having triple-double in the finals by himself.
My point is, when you have this much say-so in an organization, you only winning 4 rings is absolutely sad, and you underachieved. You're a Peyton Manning. You're an Aaron Rodgers. That's it. He is not the greatest of all time.
All right. We don't have a whole time. We don't got a whole bunch of time for the GOAT conversation, but I'll leave my last points on that.
And he didn't know how to win until he teamed up with his buddy Dwayne Wade. So let's start there too. At least Jordan was original.
Do I believe LeBron's GOAT? No, I don't. Michael Jordan's the GOAT. Do I think there's a couple instances in LeBron's career where in the finals where he's, it's gone wrong for him? Yes. I think there's been a couple instances. 2007, 07 was bad for him. 14 when Kyrie and Kevin Love went out, and when Golden State acquired Kevin Durant. I think that and the only reason the Raptors won in 19 was because Kevin Durant went out with injury. But outside of that, it was completely. They went 6 games with Klay Thompson, and Klay Thompson tore his Achilles. It was going 7 if Klay Thompson didn't get hurt. So when I look across the board right there, there are a couple instances in LeBron James' career. Now, is he right about it? Now, has he done the wrong things? Has he, recruited the wrong people? Has he fired the wrong coaches? Of course. He tried to get Eric Spoelstra fired in Miami, and Pat Riley told him no. So Pat Riley said, "We're keeping Eric Spoelstra. Look how Miami's turned out. Look how Eric Spoelstra turned out. Eric Spoelstra's going to be coaching.
Coach. I like.
He's going to be coaching Team USA here in the next couple of years. So, a lot of things have worked out and a lot of things haven't. Do I think LeBron James is the second greatest player to ever live? Yeah, I do.
I agree.
I think here's what I will say. He's the greatest athlete I've ever seen play in my life. Because I didn't get to watch Michael. I didn't get to watch it. I've never seen another athlete like him. But does his decision makings, him never taking the shot, him passing the ball up all the time to, in some moments, when you need him the most. Listen, we don't need LeBron shooting threes. How about just drive it to the hole? You're 250 pounds, and you him flopping around on the court. People are catching him, by the way, or catching him faking it.
Yeah.
There's just a couple things about him. I wouldn't put him over Jordan. And Jordan defensively was better. He won Defensive Player of the Year. He's a scoring champ. He just did things at a shorter amount of time better. And LeBron James has 78 40-point games in his career in 20-some years, and Michael Jordan has 178 in 13 seasons with the Bulls. Well, no, 15 seasons, I guess, if you want to count the lackadaisical ones with the Wizards, trying to get an ownership spot. That's what he wanted. He wasn't there because he really wanted to play.
Yeah, he didn't want to play.
Regardless, LeBron James in this series alone, it comes down to Luka needs to play better defense. He's got to fit Lakers. The future.
They want him to cut weight.
Luka's got to get better. He's got to get better. JJ's got to get more experience. LeBron James needs to help Luka. Really, he needs to support Luka. But then this is where it goes for the Lakers. This is the last thing about LeBron because I don't want to spend all day talking about LeBron James. But where do the Lakers go from here after this series? Are we committing ourselves to Luka in the future, or are you going to spend another year or two fully vamped going for LeBron James? You go spend your time on LeBron, and that's where it gets tough because I think Luka's going to stay with the Lakers. I don't think he's going anywhere, and the Lakers are going to keep him. They're more than happy to have him, but now it just questions: what do we do? Are we prepping for the next 10? You know what I mean? 10, 12 years with Luka?
Yeah.
Or are we prepping with we got this small marginal window with LeBron, and we've got to make it happen now. And that means going to get Mark Williams from the Hornets, getting rid of Dalton Connect, getting that trade, finishing back that trade, getting size. And Austin Reeves is going to have to step up if he really, especially for playoff moments. They need a little bit more shooters. They need a little bit more defense. And the thing is, it's all at the same time also going to have to wrap around Luka. Because I don't care what anybody says, Father Time's catching LeBron, and at some point LeBron's not going to be is going to be coming off the track, and he's not going to be able to play this long, that many minutes all the time. He ain't going to be able to do it at some point. So the Lakers have to look at that.
If I'm the Lakers, I'm committing to Luka's and the Lakers' future. I'm not cramping and pressing for time with LeBron anymore. He's 40.
That's the thing. if I was Jeannie Buss, I would actually disagree and push for LeBron. And here's why. LeBron hired JJ Redick. LeBron oversees what they're doing. The only thing LeBron didn't see was AD leaving. Didn't know about it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he didn't know about it.
Oh,
AD
don't believe that crap. Yes, he did.
No, he didn't, because you know what? Austin
Yes,
Reeves said they had a
he
huge
did.
group chat. Austin Reeves didn't know about it.
I don't believe a word that man says. He didn't know.
Luka didn't know he was
Bullshit.
getting traded.
LeBron
Nobody in the
didn't know
trade knew they were getting. Nobody in the trade, not even AD. AD didn't know he got traded.
You're telling me you really think LeBron did not know about AD?
No, I don't. I think that's one they didn't tell him about.
That's horse crap.
I think that is one they did not tell him about.
I don't believe
All right, we got to get on to another story. All right, Denver Clippers. Nuggets and Clippers. Throughout the series, thrilling, my own opinion, is James Harden. James Harden screwed this completely. And this is what he does. I leave this whole series of failing and this Game 7 on James Harden. Time and again throughout James Harden's career, in a Game 7, he's come up short. The Rockets, when they played the Warriors in Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals a couple years ago, he came up short. James Harden, in Philly, James Harden came up short. James Harden came up short in Brooklyn. And again in LA in the Clippers, it's James Harden. I'm not being mean here, but Kawhi Leonard did have 22 points in Game 7. So, I mean, at least Kawhi showed up with 20 points. James Harden had 7.
I know.
James Harden only took 8 shots. Now, granted, you could say, well, he had 13 assists. Congratulations. He could have done that while also having 25 points. I don't care. I don't care that the Nuggets won. I originally picked Nuggets in 7. That was my original pick. I picked Nuggets in 7. But if James Harden scores 25 points and they lose by 5, whatever. You know what I mean? I don't care. At least they put up a fight. And I will say it because I said it on TikTok. They got their ass kicked. It's exactly what happened. The Clippers got kicked.
They did.
They got embarrassed. They got absolutely outplayed. And guess what?
They came out so well in the first half, though.
The
They were playing so good.
The most sorry thing about it is Aaron Gordon was the damn leading scorer for the Nuggets. Jokic didn't even have a good night. He was 16 and 8 and 10. So yeah, he almost averaged a triple-double, but it wasn't his best night. Braun had 21 points. Jamal Murray only had 16 points. Michael Porter only had 15 points. And I will tell you, their best benefactor on the Nuggets. It's not Jamal Murray. It's not Braun. It's not Aaron Gordon. It's not Michael Porter. It's Russell Westbrook. We don't give him enough credit. He got averaging 15 to 20 off the bench for this team all this season has been absolutely incredible. But for when you look over at the Clippers, Kawhi had 22, Derek Jones Jr. had 12, Zubac had 10 and 14, Harden had 7, Powell had 9. Okay, Powell can't have 9. Can't have 9 if you're Powell.
Yeah.
Bogdanovich had 12 off the bench. Brown had 13 off the bench. Batum only had 3 points in this game.
He didn't play very much either, I don't think.
No, they got. Well, Batum played 28 minutes in this game. So he got.
Oh, really? I thought he played less than that. I didn't see him very much.
They shot the same amount. Both teams shot the same amount of free throws. The Nuggets out-rebounded the Clippers by 10, 46 to 36.
Can't have that.
The Clippers had more assists. The Clippers they both had. The Nuggets had 11 steals. The Clippers had 10. The Clippers had 9 blocks. The Clippers had 9 blocks to the Nuggets 4. Fast break points. The Nuggets had 24, 19 points in the paint, 66 to 58. Fouls 23 to 17. Like I'm saying, in the largest lead difference.
What was second chance points? What was second chance points? Second chance points.
It doesn't say second chance points on the stat sheet. But the largest lead difference was 35 to 6. I mean, so like I said, So I just read you, Hunter. I just read you the stats between both teams, right? Fucking James
Boy,
Harden. It just circles around James Harden. He played 35 minutes. He played the most minutes out of everybody. He took only 8 shots. He took 1 3 point. He only made 1 3. He took 4 threes. If we go back, hold on, let's go back to Game 6, right? Where they won at home. James Harden had 28 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds. He shot 19 shots, 2 assists from 3. No, hold on a second. No, that's wrong. He had 28 points. He shot 20 shots compared to 8 last night. He made 10 compared to 2. He had 8 assists and 6 rebounds. And he was 3 of 8 from 3. You only took 8 shots in a Game 7? You're the second best player on the team? What the hell is wrong with you? You're James Harden.
Damn.
You're not Jamal Murray. You're James Harden. You're one of the best scorers we've ever seen. The dude was a walk-in free throw for years.
He's old now.
I don't care how Kawhi Leonard can barely walk half the time and he put up points. I mean, Kawhi Leonard at least shows up. And you know what the bad and 100 and I'll let you get to it. And you can have whatever you want after this. The sad part about all this, this is the first time we've seen since Kawhi was on the Raptors him healthy and through a series. This was the first time we got to see him actually play an entire series without a problem since Toronto. And James Harden fumbles the bag. I mean, holy shit. Like, trade him for Siakam, for God's sakes. Just trade him to Indiana.
Pacers ain't taking him. Get out of here.
They can have him and Zubac and tell Kawhi, Kawhi be like, "Let's get over here. We won a championship together. Get back over here. We'll do it again here in LA." Have your moment of joy there, but whatever about James Harden.
I told you. What have I told you about James Harden? When the game's on the line and the lights shine the brightest, what will James Harden do? What have I told you?
I know. I just hope, I always hope that maybe one time they're going to surprise
me. He disappears. Now, James Harden in a Game 5, hey, he can score like no one I've ever seen. Game 7s or games on the line, James Harden, can't find him. It's been his whole career. Am I shocked that he only got 7 points? No. Now, did I think... I mean, I was being generous when I thought he'd get at least in the teens. But do I think James Harden's dropping 20-some points in a Game 7? No.
7, though? 7? Can I get 18?
Hey, I didn't think it'd be, single digits. Like, I got some respect. But, dude, I've told you this. It's his whole career, man. James Harden is only good in regular season. When it comes to postseason playoffs and a Game 7, I am not trusting James Harden to put up and be that guy. He disappears. He does. He can't handle the big moments. It's like watching Bryce Harper play baseball. Bryce Harper's a great player. Bryce Harper can't handle the big moments and the big games. I mean, some players, some good players, that's what separates them from good to great. James Harden's a good player. James Harden's not a great player. Bryce Harper's a good player. He's not a great player. Great players.
It is what it is.
Great players rise in the biggest games. James Harden is not a great player for that reason. And I've told Cam this 100 times, and he's still getting mad. No. What do you expect from James Harden? No. He's going to go up there and just do the whole traveling step back and just drain them every time?
Yes, I do.
No, he'll brick them. No, they're bricks.
All right, well, we spent 44 minutes on the NBA here, so we'll spend the...
It was enjoyable.
Let's... We're gonna actually just jump to the NHL real quick, and we'll talk about our other stuff, our WWE Backlash. We'll actually do that later, Hunter.
Okay.
Okay, I have the bracket here in front of me. I just want your overall thoughts, series between each game, each series, right, from first round. Game 7's tonight, Jets and the Blues. What is your... To my opinion, Jets are frauds. They're like the Canucks from last year. They're frauds. They're frauds. Go Blues. It's my opinion. Go Blues.
Boo the Jets.
What do you think? Jets and Blues.
I'm going to go with the Blues, but I think the Jets are going to win this just to prove they're not frauds. But even though they are, they're getting bounced in the second round. The Stars should have a heyday with them. I think Dallas is going to the Western Conference Finals. By the way, Oilers fans, if you're watching, thank you so much to beat the hell out of them LA Kings. Thank you so much. Quack, quack. Cali's run by Anaheim. Don't ever forget it.
Yeah, they won 2 games and didn't win anything else.
Yep.
They won 4 losses straight.
Backward sweep. Thank you.
So we got Golden Knights and Wild. What'd you think?
When Minnesota had a chance in Game 5 to really take, or Game 4 to take a 3-1 lead, and they didn't do it, and that's what cost them. I was rooting for Minnesota because I hate Vegas. That stacked team, they're trash cans. It's sad you have to have that big of a super team in hockey, and yet you still can't win. Oh, wait, I forgot, because super teams don't work in the NHL. Duh. So I hope Vegas gets their ass kicked in the second round. I hate you, Vegas. Good luck, whatever. So whoever Vegas plays, I'm rooting for the opposite. Oilers, I wish you guys luck.
We could do second round predictions right here. If you want to do them right
Carolina.
now.
Oh, real quick before we get on the subject, there's one series I'd like to quote. Cameron over here picked the Devils over the Hurricanes, and he got taught a lesson. Don't disrespect your papa. Canes beat him in 5. I'm pretty sure the Canes beat him in 5.
Yeah,
should have beat him. Should have swept them, but the Canes were generous, and Anderson left a little early. But so second round predictions: Canes and Capitals. Give me the Canes.
I'll take the Canes for that one.
Yep. Eastern Conference Finals.
Maple Leafs and Panthers.
Back. I think Toronto is going to get it done. I really do. I think this is the year Toronto gets it done. I think that first round series, put them back to earth. They got a lot of work to figure out. But give me the Maple Leafs. I got Toronto and Carolina in the Eastern Conference Finals this year.
Give me the Panthers in 6.
Oof. Still think Toronto's going to choke. You think Toronto's going to choke?
I don't think Toronto's going to choke, but I just don't think Toronto's better. Because, listen, Ottawa could have drugged that thing on a little bit longer if they wanted to. Ottawa almost did drug it on. Go ahead.
It would be cool to see a Panthers and Canes rematch in the Eastern Conference
really
Finals.
Would, yeah.
So I'd be okay with either, but I think Toronto is going to get there.
Western Conference, Golden Knights and Oilers.
Oh, Edmonton, please. Please do it again. Make me you know what? I'll tell you what. Oilers fans, I will buy a Connor McDavid jersey if you guys beat Vegas. You already beat the Kings. If you beat Vegas too, I'll buy a jersey and I'll wear it.
I'm going Oilers in 6. I think Golden Knights still 2 games on them.
Oh, no, that's too generous. Oilers in 5.
And then the Stars will play the Jets or the Blues.
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to say something crazy.
Dallas in 5.
Robertson's coming back in the second round. Miro's coming back in the second round. So I'm going to be generous. I'm going to be nice. This is me being nice. I have Dallas in 5. I will give that team a game. But really, if they play the Blues or the Jets, do I think they're going to sweep them? Yes, it's probably going to be a sweep.
It'll be interesting. Second round for both the NBA playoffs But you know what? And I forgot to get to him.
What?
We talked about the NHL, and it's great. But I forgot to mention the Celtics on this little podcast. I remember I said I would. The Celtics take out the Orlando Magic in 5, and I'm going to tell you what about. Listen, and my Knicks have to play them. And listen, we can talk about us beating Detroit. It was a struggle. Game 6 was a struggle.
No, the real struggle starts for you right now. That was just
this team. This Boston team, they're real. They're a real team. Jason Tatum has been great. Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, but it's not even the main core group of guys that I'm really impressed with. Pritchard, guys like Pritchard, I'm impressed with. He had a great series. What? What? He did.
That dude didn't deserve Sixth Man of the Year.
He had a great series, man. What are you talking about?
You think Peyton Pritchard really deserves Sixth Man of the Year? Really?
Over who?
You
Over
really
who
think
else?
that?
Who else you gonna put over him?
I think T.J. McConnell should have won Sixth Man of the Year, or Nas Reed. I mean, Nas Reed's the greatest sixth man in the postseason I've ever seen. That dude just balls.
I mean,
that dude does more than James Harden does. He can hit game-winning shots.
Okay, buddy. But Pritchard throughout this series, Derek White was good throughout the series. Listen, Boston is deep. My Knicks are going to have a hell of a time. Boston's deep. Boston's great, and really, I hate to say it, Boston. I expect them to beat my Knicks in 6. I do, but me and Hunter are different about it. I got the Boston Celtics going to the NBA Finals. I do. I think they're going to make the NBA Finals. And I think they make it in 6. I think the Celtics win in 6.
We're saving that for another time. You shut your mouth. We ain't talking about that right now.
I do. I think the Celtics.
I have the Celtics. I have the Celtics over the Knicks in 5. Just because the Knicks don't have depth. You don't have any depth, dude.
I mean, I have the Pacers taking you maybe 7.
I expect 6 or 7 games. I respect Indiana, but you saying Boston's going to beat Cleveland in 6 in the Eastern Conference Finals is bullshit.
I think it's with Porzingis coming back, all fully healthy, with Al Horford, with Pritchard, and if they get Drew Holiday back, yeah, you can cook it. It's going in 6. There's no. If they get Holiday back, it's going to 6.
Rebuttal. I have Ty Jerome. I have DeAndre Hunter. I have Dean Wade.
Trash.
Okay. All right.
Dean Wade's garbage.
What? Did you say Dean Wade's garbage?
Bro, come on.
Dean Wade plays more games than Porzingis does. Porzingis is always hurt. What do you mean?
Porzingis is a champion.
Oh, on the stacked team of Boston. Yeah, screw that leprechaun.
I mean, the best player in the Eastern Conference playoffs is Jason Tatum. He's the best player throughout the playoffs in the Eastern Conference.
Oh boy, you're just trying to now.
Unless it's either Jason Tatum or Jalen Brunson right now.
It's Jalen
Brunson right now.
It's Jalen Brown.
No, it's Brunson.
Jalen Brown is better than Jason Tatum.
Not throughout these playoffs so far. Jason Tatum's better than him right now.
I'm sorry, does Jason Tatum out of the NBA Finals MVP? He doesn't.
We're talking about these playoffs. We're not talking about 2024. We're talking about these playoffs.
I'm just saying. You want to say?
I mean, if you want to talk about the 2024 Cavs, we can get back to it over there. But
2024 Cavs.
We can talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers and
when my team was legit injured. Like my whole team was hurt.
Okay. Jared Allen, who wasn't really hurt, that just didn't play.
Don't bring that up. We're not.
He didn't even play. He just didn't play.
I know he didn't. And Donovan Mitchell didn't play. Garland was playing through pain and suffering.
Mitchell was actually hurt.
I know Mitchell was hurt. Well, we didn't play Jared Allen either. I wasn't happy about it.
All right, well, we covered a little bit, mostly about the NBA today. We covered a little bit about NHL.
All right, there's one more thing.
We'll talk later about Backlash.
Okay.
We'll do that
there's
later
one more thing that we have to talk about.
Okay. Last topic.
The Avalanche literally crumbled.
Yeah. How do you go up 2-0 and then you blow 4 straight goals in one period? 3 really that mattered.
I will say this for these playoffs, NHL. I have never seen so many come back like down 2-0, 3-0 goals games in my life. Dude, it don't matter what the score is in these playoffs. There have been crazy comebacks. And I'm talking late in the third period. Like you had a 2-0 goal series. 2-0 goal lead. Series on the line, 3-3. You're in the third period. You're chilling. What Colorado did, and we and you watched this game. Like we were watching. Colorado just took the foot off the gas, and Dallas was full steam ahead. Dallas got one goal, then they got
Bring them
another
over.
one. And then here's what Colorado did that was dumb. You go to the box and you give Dallas a power play. And I told you this. I said, Cam, Dallas is going to take the lead off this power play. Exactly what I said. Exactly word for word what I just told him. I said, Dallas is going to take the lead right here. It wasn't, a minute in? I think it was under a minute, right?
Yeah. It was under a minute.
Dallas scores off the power play. And Cam goes, how do you know that? I said, you don't let Dallas hang around. You cannot let the Stars, who have so much experience in these types of fights and games, you cannot let a team like that hang around. And that's exactly what Colorado did. But this is Colorado's fault, too, because they got rid of Darcy Kemper as a goalie, and they should have never done it.
Right. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, been awesome. We are still going to have a Backlash episode happen on Friday. It'll be the preview. But hey, playoffs competitive.
No,
The second
no
round.
Cody, no
Here we
Gio.
go.
So I feel about Backlash.
Rockets, Warriors happened on Sunday. Cleveland and Pacers happened on Sunday. Jets and Blues. Monday, games happen. And guess what? I'm excited for all of it. Like I said before, two things.
He's not allowed to talk to me during the Cavs.
Two things to end this episode.
Oh,
Number one, go John Cena. Beating Randy Orton. And number two.
Oh, here we go.
Go Knicks. Go Knicks.
We believe in Shamit in New York, baby. Let's go Shamit.
Go Knicks and Pacers.
That's funny.
But all beside, for everybody to know though, Hunter's dad was a Celtics fan.
Oh, that's
Celtics
dirty.
6.
No, that's dirty. Using my dad. For those of you who don't know, my dad recently passed, and that's why he's being funny.
Well, you know too.
Oh,
You know your dad wouldn't have let you live that down if there's Celtics.
No. Oh no, he ran his mouth nonstop about 2024. Trust me, he was like, "Hey, I'm hitting Boston." I'm like, "Oh my god." I grew up in a Boston family. Be honest, I stood out. I was like, I ain't a Celtic fan. Did like Larry Bird though.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you all have a good week. Enjoy your second round of. Hope everybody enjoys the second round of the NHL and NBA playoffs. Go Knicks. Go Cavs. Ladies and
Hey,
gentlemen,
you said it.
I'll see y'all later. I'll see y'all later.